My name is Micah Middendorf. I'm the head men's soccer coach at Concordia University of Chicago. We just finished up my 6th year at Concordia with an overall record of 7-9-2.
I'm James McCaig, the second year graduate assistant coach for the men's soccer program.
Hello, my name is Brendan Mullane, and I am a 4-year starter for the Concordia Chicago men's soccer team. I was the captain the last 2 years, 2013, 2014.
Brendan Mullane, fantastic leader for the 2 years that I got to work with him in the program. Came off a great junior year, being the top scorer, also getting recognition all conference. Fortunately, I'll say senior year, maybe didn't reach the heights he wanted to, but as a leader in general, just done an absolutely outstanding job leading the team, the program, to get it where it is today.
My name is Diego Noel Diaz. I am a junior here at Concordia. I am a natural science major, and I play left back for the Cougars.
Diego Diaz, honestly, he's one of the most passionate players I've probably worked with. He gives it all on the field, 100%, practice and competition. A lot of the guys do look up to him purely from that, the passion he does show for the game. You can see he does love it and puts everything into his performance.
When you talk about Brendan Mullane, I mean, you talk about someone who's been a true servant for the program. He put the work in, day out, showed up every day, worked his socks off, no matter what the result was. So more than anything, our results that we had this year, I was happy for him to experience that. I was happy for him to experience being in the run to make the conference tournament because he has certainly put the work in. Diego Diaz, he's in that same boat where you see the improvement from someone who played sparingly his first couple matches in his first year to someone who we rely upon to play a very significant role for us.
Hola, yo me llamo Pedro Barrera y juego fútbol en la Escuela de Concordia.
Hello, my name is Pedro Barrera, and I am a midfielder for Concordia University Chicago.
Hello, my name is Christian Soto. I'm a sophomore and I go to Concordia, and I'm part of the men's soccer team. My position was outside back, left or right, didn't matter, and my role was I played a lot on the bench.
Christian Soto, he is an absolute character, if I'm honest. When he first joined the program last year, he didn't speak to me or to anyone for probably the first 3-4 weeks. It was very quiet, but now he's one of the guys you cannot keep quiet at any time. During practice, during games, he's always having fun. He enjoys it, which is good. He has that fun aspect he brings to the game. And again, he's one of those who he does his best, he gives his all for the program, and that's exactly what we want.
I don't know if we have a better teammate in the program than Christian Soto. He's a kid where he came in, he might have very limited skill, but he shows up every day. He has a great attitude, and he creates just a good atmosphere in our program. So when we're able to get him time and get him in games, it not only does it mean a lot to him, but it means a lot to me as well. The reality of the situation is that I can't play everybody every match. I have to make those decisions, and regardless of the decisions that I made, Christian comes in, he works hard in training, he does what he has to do, so we're happy to get him in games like the MSOE match. We got him in the Rockford match.
Starting off with this season, we set some pretty high standard goals for our program, which was to break the school history with wins, score the most goals in one season, and to make it to the playoffs.
I didn't really know what to expect from the year, but I was really excited because I knew we had a really good class coming in from the people that I had met previously, whether it was at Open Gym or anything like that, you know. So preseason it killed us. Like it really pushed us to our limit. Like we really knew who was going to start, who was going to play, and honestly, I felt confident going into the season. I felt like our defensive line, our goalkeeper, our midfield, everything was solid. To be honest, we had a lot of returners that I just knew we were going to kill it out there, you know? Like, there was nothing at no point was I not confident with our team.
We went into this season with a very young team. We only had 3 seniors and I believe 4 juniors, so the rest were freshmen and sophomores. The seniors really set the standard. I feel like the first 2 weeks of training camp, we have 3 seniors that were 4-year starters for our program, so they were very experienced. It was myself, Dylan Pavlison, and DeAndre McLaurin. Preseason, we played 2 games that we actually played very well. We played against Triton College and against Illinois Institute of Technology, where we lost each game by 1 goal. But these 2 teams were pretty competitive, pretty high level, and we were still adjusting to college soccer for most of our guys. Going into the season, we had high hopes, and we got off to the right start. We're winning 2, I believe, 3 of our first 4 games this season, and one of them was in overtime, which was the first for the school's program.
The games were challenging. It definitely pushed us to see who we really were, if we really stuck by each other. We had our ups and downs throughout the season, but obviously our record showed that we had the best season that Concordia has ever had.
Mi juego favorito fue contra Illinois College, y en ese juego yo metí el gol para empatar el juego que estábamos perdiendo y me gustó mucho y es una experiencia que nunca voy a olvidar.
My favorite game this season is playing against the Illinois College because I scored the goal that tied the game, and it gave us a better opportunity to come back in the game.
Solo jugué media temporada este año y fue porque me quise enfocar en los estudios y yo creo que es algo importante que deberíamos tener en mente cuando somos estudiantes y jugamos en la escuela.
The reason I left the team is because I got kicked out for throwing bagels in the bus.
Going into conference, we had high hopes and expectations, just trying to get into top 6, which is playoffs.
Aurora was probably the most significant game to me. From previous years that I've played here at Concordia, they've always stuck it to us. They dominated us out there, and it never felt well. Like it's definitely a harsh feeling when you go out there and you get dominated by a team. But this year we proved to be a different team.
Game against Aurora. Now that was something else. We went into that game very little hope. I feel like not a lot of the guys were confident. We knew that they were a big physical team. They had experience. Last year, I think they missed the NCAA tournament by 1 game. And they came in like they were just gonna whoop us, like just flat out take the game. They were just, you could tell they were overconfident, and we kept putting pressure on them, and they were just kind of scaring them. We went down 1-0 at half, and you know, we all knew in the locker room, hey, we're still in this game, like we're not out of it yet. We could beat these guys. This is a David and Goliath story. We came out that second half, and I think we did give up an early goal, and we went down 2-0, and that kind of like, you know, gave them confidence. They were still cocky and all that. And then we scored right back within a minute later, and it just turned the whole game around, and we said once again, we got the, like, we're still in this game. They ended up getting 1 back, and then we scored 3 straight goals, which just absolutely came out of nowhere. I mean, I had the strike of my life, outside the foot, curling in. That put it to 3-2, and then DeAndre, who's just one of the top goal scorers at Concordia history, just puts 2 beautiful goals away, 2 breakaways. 6 minutes left when we took the lead, and it just seemed like those 6 minutes lasted forever, like longest 5 minutes of my college career personally. And very last 10 seconds of the game, they had a shot that our goalie just made this unreal save, and we knew right then that it was over. We just literally upset this David Goliath game. We won.
They stepped in our field thinking there was going to be an easy game, and 4-3. It just shows it's a lot of goals in one game. And going down, being down the whole game and just coming back and winning 4-3, I'm not going to lie, seeing their faces as sad as ours were the last couple of years when I've been here, it definitely made, I couldn't have a better feeling with this group of guys. Like I've played a lot of soccer throughout my years, won a lot of things, and that was probably the best feeling I've ever felt, being with these guys. The Dominican match, even though it didn't go our way, I gotta say I've never been more proud of these guys. We a team that's been dominating us 7-1, 4. Like I don't think we've actually ever scored on them. They came into our field and we took them to double overtime with 5 minutes left. Obviously, the result didn't go our way, but losing 1-0 to a team that always makes the tournament, always goes on pretty far, and just, I don't know, like our group of guys, our defensive line, oh my God, like these guys, best defensive line, best game I've ever seen us play. We definitely left our hearts out. Our goalkeeper definitely left his heart out. Everybody just played a significant role. Just a little bit of luck and we would have had it, but that's the game of soccer. Sometimes it doesn't go your way.
My first debut for Concordia was at MSOE. We were losing, I believe, 7-0 or 6-0. I went in for 5 minutes, and when I went in right away, the ref blew the whistle, and he made me tie my shoe, so I stopped the game because I had to tie my shoe. That was a big moment in my career for soccer, the Concordia. The other moment was when we played Rockford. I played more time there, that's why it was significant too. We were also destroying them like 7-0. Yeah, and I think I led to an assist as well.
Concordia, Wisconsin, probably the most anticipated game that I've ever played in. I was ready to go in the locker room, and I could tell that the team was ready to go. And it was a game that was going to decide who was going to make the playoffs. It was our big brother school who have always beaten us in the past. We scored right away, right off the back, and they knew that they were in for a real treat. We had a scary moment. I think it was about 15 minutes right after we scored the goal. They had a penalty kick. On average, I'd say you score a penalty kick 9 out of 10 times. But with our goalie, George Guzman, we were so confident that anyone who had a penalty that, yes, it's scary, but I'd say 50-50 he's going to save that ball. And he proved it. He made a great decision diving to the right and making a huge save that kept us in this game. And we knew from there that this was it. The team had a few rocky edges where we had 2 players out from injury, another player out from a suspension, and we had to play 2 or 3 guys that may have only seen 20 minutes throughout the whole season, and second to last game of the season, they have to come in and start. I was moved from my position to center mid, which I'm not very familiar with. With 10 minutes left in the game, they scored a goal off of a freshman mistake, and then 3 minutes later they scored another goal, and that gave us very little time, about 5 minutes to score, to try to put this game in overtime, and didn't happen. It was probably the most disappointing moment in my college career, but when I look back on it, it was a great season, and it meant a lot to play with these guys, and they'll always be my teammates, my brothers, my friends forever.
So as I said before, we just finished up my 6th season at Concordia. Now a reality of where we are as a program and how we got to where we are today is the fact that we haven't had a lot of success. We don't have a great tradition of success, or we don't have a lot of all-conference players. When I came in 2008, unfortunately, we had to make some decisions, and we almost started the program completely over. There was a very high turnover of coaches. I was the 3rd head coach hired in 3 years, so it's very little recruiting done. There was just very little consistency as far as what a coach expected out of players, and the culture in the program was very recreational. So the battle and the transition that my staff and I had to make was one in which we were able to compete. And that brings us to 2014, where this year we have most wins in program history. Individually, DeAndre McLaurin, he scored most goals individually since 2004. As far as our team accolades, we have most goals scored since 2004. We have least amount of goals conceded since 2005. So statistically, this probably ranks as 2014 as one of the best teams that this school has ever had. But again, the reality of the situation is that we're still not where we want to be. We still have a lot of work to do, and that's the message that we're sending to a lot of our current players, a lot of our returning players, is that, yeah, it's great to say that, hey, most wins in program history, but we still have a lot of work to do. So as we look at some of our returning players like Diego Diaz, he's really stepped up as far as his leadership. He's taken the initiative in the weight room and starting to bring some of these underclassmen and teach them kind of our expectations for the program. So someone like Christian Soto, he can follow Diego's example. But at the same time, we owe a lot to our seniors that were in the program. Brendan Mullane, Dylan Patterson, DeAndre McLaurin, because they did an outstanding job of creating the culture and setting the expectations. So when we look at this team and we carry on into 2015, we have a lot of freshmen that played significant minutes for us. And they're going to play very big roles for us next year as sophomores. But they would not have been able to play that role if we didn't have the example that was set by a lot of these returning players.
Let's go, CUC, CUC. Hey, 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 let's go, CUC, CUC. Hey! So
Hi, my name is Clayton James. I am a senior here at Concordia. I graduate in 4 weeks, which is pretty cool. Freshman and sophomore year, I played soccer at Concordia University of Chicago, but unfortunately due to injury, I had to stop playing. So now junior and senior, I became their biggest fan.
My name is Victor Cerda. I am a junior here at the University of Concordia. My major is social work, and I consider myself a very big Concordia soccer fan.
Hey, it's me again, Christian Soto. I know I'm part of the soccer team as well, but I can also say that I'm a #1 fan for the soccer team. I cheer the team on in the bench all the time because I hardly go on. I'm like that random ass Slovakian 7-foot guy on the basketball team that no one knows about and has never seen play. But I'm for sure the loudest motherfucker there is right there cheering on the whole team.
It was really fun to cheer them on because freshman and sophomore year, there was really no one in the crowd, but this year we had at least 30 or 40 people just cheering them on with me, and me and Kevin Lee, we led the chants, and I was in my hot dog suit, and everyone loved us, and it was a good time, and it was a good time watching the Concordia University soccer team.
One of the games I enjoyed watching a lot this year was against a team called the McMurray, I believe. One of my best friends, Manny Valdez, scored 2 goals. I was very excited. It was a very exciting game. And I remember I was cheating on him, and it was like, hey, Manny, yeah, let's go, Manny, yeah. And he scored 2 goals, and I don't know, I think I helped him in this game.
One of my favorite games, though, I have a couple of favorite games, but one of my favorites was Aurora. That game was nuts. I was really angry. I missed the first half of the game, but I came over, it was 2-0, and then we scored. Brendan scored the most insane goal I've ever seen before in my life. It was awesome. I would pay money to see that goal again. And then Aurora scored again, then we scored, and at the end of the game it was 4-3, and all of a sudden we won. Concordia won. And we played our hearts out. Me and Kevin, we started to chant. The whole crowd was into it. It was a blast. It was like a English Premier League soccer game. The crowd was loud. We were insane. We were proud. And it was a great game.
Apparently, my chants can get a little too crazy and out of hand for the Concordia atmosphere, because I remember I was cheering on my roommate, Hector Godinez, and the coach got a little pissed at me for cheering on my roommate. So he told me to go home and not to cheer as hard, I guess. I think this Concordia soccer program had 6 very big players, key players to their team. Dylan Patterson, which is a very good player. He can play pretty much any position. He can do center back, he can do the center mid, he can do the forward. He could probably do the goalie, but we have George Guzman, so we don't need him there. Another player is Pedro Barrera. He got kicked out for throwing bagels in the bus. Number 3 is Aaron Garza. He got kicked out for having weed in his cleats. Another one was Manuel Valdez, and apparently he just stopped coming out of nowhere. Another one was Brendan Brendejo, the best Irish dancer in the world, Mullane. His role in the team was pretty much just Irish dance on the field and score goals, which he did. It was a very good season for Brendan Mullane. And the 6th one is the Christian, aka Bird's Nest, aka Broccoli, aka Vives, aka Christian Joto. He had a very good season from what I hear. I didn't really see him on the field, but I hear he did really good. And now thinking about the next season, I do not think I'll be coming to many games because the team looks pretty screwed up now. So I do not believe I'll be yelled at for cheering very hard this next season. So I think we're going to be okay.